what is up with you? My name is Desi. This is my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. Welcome. Yes, I made up that word, Starchaeology. It's the star plus archaeology. Because under that divine guidance of the star card in tarot, that healing energy, we harness that healing energy by going deep, by digging deep, and that's what every tarot reading should be, I believe. So that's what we're here to do for you today. For February 2021, it's about to be February, or it's already February by the time you're watching this. I am so curious to see what Spirit has in store for you this month. If you have a specific question, Aries, that you want to ask, or a desire that you want to put out into the universe, or an intention, did I say that? An intention you want to set, a desire, a question you want to ask? I'm getting lost in my own sentences. Please do that as I tune in and shuffle right now. And before I start, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. It means so much to me to get to connect with you in this capacity, in this digital space. I am working really hard to build a supportive healing community here, so especially in these early days, it means so much to see who shows up to help make that vision come true. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you. Okay, Aries, let's see what February is all about. Oof, Aries, I'm seeing that a lot. I'm finding a lot of you right now you might be in the height of struggle right now, or you might be in the middle of a challenge, as we all find ourselves in. And I'm glad that you're tuning in for this reading, because this is important to hear for you. I feel that very strongly. There is someone else's judgments that are becoming too great a burden to bear for you. This is someone that you might see as somewhat authoritarian in your life, someone that you look up to, someone to whom you give a lot of your power. And that's not necessarily bad. We give our power to so many people. We give our power to people that we love deeply, that we admire, that we respect. We give our power away by seeking their validation, and it is very human to seek validation, especially in those whom we love. The problem is, or it becomes a problem rather, when we forget that that person is also human, and that person is also approaching this with their own set of biases, their own set of prejudices, their own history of conditioning, their own wounds, their own baggage is all in the way of that. The King of Swords is not justice. This person is not some unbiased force of justice in your life. Even if you look at this person and you're like, they really know right from wrong, and they really have their head swiveled on right. Is that an expression? I don't even know. Or, that person is just so good. Like, I look at that person's so good. Of course I should listen to them. How someone lives their own life does not always apply to how you live your life, because you are on your own path. The King of Swords at times looks like that Justice card, but you can see the King of Swords, his sword is to the side. It's not straight up vertical in the air, which already shows that he tilts to one side. He isn't this impartial voice of reason always. And while there might be a lot of reason that comes from this authority in your life, and maybe this isn't even a person, Aries, maybe this is, for some of you, I'm getting this is an institution, or this is society. this is a popular belief in society, and you are finding yourself in the unpopular minority. Whatever it is, I also feel this is important. I'm just getting a download for some of you. For some of you, this is a person from your past whose voice remains in your head, so it's making them an active player in your life, even though this person might not even be present anymore. But this voice of reason, if you take a closer look, you might see it's not this impartial voice of reason coming from your own mind. It actually is a voice that you adopted from someone else whom you looked up to at some point in your life, or who was an authority to you at some point in your life. Whatever it is, it's become a great burden, I think, to take this person's, or really live by this person's advice. It's great to listen to their opinions, but it's very important to remember that it will always be just an opinion. It will always be just the opinion of one other person. It is never fact. It is always someone else's judgment. It is not pure, untouched, unadulterated wisdom. That's not what this King of Swords is. Moreover, I think there's something with this person or this force in your life. There is such an emphasis on realism and logic that it narrows this person's viewpoint to a very limited materialism. And I know that materialism, we don't use that word liberally here. We use materialism specifically, I think, when speaking about like money and possessions. But when I say materialism, I mean material as in the world is material. The entire world is material. This plane is material. So you don't have to be materialistic to be limited by a materialist mindset, if that makes sense. It's like if your viewpoint is being narrowed to this limited materialism, what I mean by that is that you are thinking about things so logically, so intellectually based, so realistic, based on what you are seeing and the math that you are doing based on those observations, that you are losing touch with other ways of knowing. This is a way of knowing. Your spirit is a way of knowing. Energy is a way of knowing. There is a way of knowing that goes beyond the seen. And that is the realms of the unseen, the realms of the unknown. And those ways of knowing are a lot more advanced than the way of knowing that we seem to prioritize and respect most in this world, which is the more scientific, mathematical mind of just being able to observe and add things up and think logically. This is the deeper senses of knowing, the deeper ways of knowing, are not things that our society even there's not this consensus in our society, let me say that allows us to prioritize that kind of knowing or even respect that kind of knowing. And even though that's growing, that kind of feminine wisdom is becoming more and more prevalent, there's still so much conditioning that undermines it on a daily basis. And it takes real awareness to be able to see how that is undermined in us personally, on a global scale, with the collective consciousness, with our own consciousness. Whoa, that was bright. But this King of Swords force in your life is someone who kind of prides themselves on common sense, on this tough-minded, blunt common sense. The sense that you need, the sense that will free you, Aries, from this burden is an uncommon sense. It is an uncommon, rare sense. You don't need more common sense to push you further along this path, because at this point, this kind of common sense, this kind of reliance on this kind of practical judgment that is ultimately biased in that way, like biased in its own practicality, that is halting your path. That is stopping you on your path. It is burdening you to the point that you can't see straight in front of you. You can't see where you're headed. It has become such a burden to try to hold space for this practical mindset limited to this plane, this game that we're in, the physical world. I'm also seeing, Aries, that for some of you, if none of that is resonating, for some of you, this is someone, for some of you, this is a husband, this is a father, this is a lover, this is someone who is someone that you love very deeply in your life, who is just a controlling person. Doesn't have to be masculine necessarily, just masculine in the sense of trying to control the chaotic. And that person controlling you is a burden. It is a burden dealing with their control over you, to the point that you end up having no choice but to isolate yourself. You have no choice but to trap yourself in your devotion and commitment to this person. This person may love you, may care for you very deeply. It doesn't make them, that doesn't give them permission to be as controlling in your life as they are. It doesn't give them permission to be the authority on you and your path. Their form of loving is what they think is love is coming across much more as a fear-based sense, a fear-based need for controlling you to what they think. Sorry, let me start that again. Their form of loving is manifesting as a way of micromanaging your experience to protect you. What they think is protecting you. That's what they are equating with love. And you don't need to listen to them to let yourself be loved by them. Listening to them doesn't mean you accept their love, or rather acting on what they have to share with you isn't how you accept their love. You can connect with them in other ways, you can accept their love in other ways, you can listen, but you are not obligated to act on this at all. You are not obligated to live your life inside the box that they are putting on you. In fact, I advise strongly against it, because in your efforts to please this person, in your efforts to live within this person's limits, you only end up hurting yourself. You only end up restricting yourself. And even though they might see that as protection, to you it's a cage. This person, as much as they love you, care for you, or if it's not a person, if it's society, like saying this is what is good for you, no matter how much this other force has your best interest at heart, at this point, they will not be able to see any other way through loving you, through protecting you, than caging you. Which means you are the ultimate person. The power is in your hands to decide whether or not you are caged. Or whether you circumvent that, whether you listen to them, receive what they have to say, but choose a different response, choose a different action. This is a time about advocating for yourself and persevering forward through what might be difficult, what might be some conflict with this person, or with culture, with this society, with this institution. But you need to advocate for what you legitimately want, not the wants of others. Carrying the desires of others for you is a burden to you. It will only trap you. It will only restrict you. It will only isolate you. You think it might be bringing you closer together with this person? No. It won't deepen your relationship. You deepen your relationship by setting boundaries. You deepen your relationship by speaking up. And that doesn't have to be malicious. It doesn't have to be mean or cruel. You can speak up for yourself. You can advocate for yourself in a loving way, Aries. But it is imperative that you push through and actually do that. It's imperative that you persevere. Not only to have the relationship that you want with this person, with this community, with this institution, with this external force in your life, but also for the sake of your own well-being and for the sake of your own being true to your authentic desires and your true path. You have not sworn loyalty to this person that should sacrifice loyalty to yourself. Don't forget that. This is a doozy, Aries. I would love... Sorry, I have hiccups suddenly. And I'm yawning. Wow, so much is happening. Just really, a lot just came through me. And now my body's freaking out. This is, this might feel like a challenge this month, Aries, but these cards are here to tell me that you can do it and that you can push through it and come out of it successfully. So do not sell yourself short. Be aware of these things while facing these challenges. The challenges, there will always be challenges. Always. The only thing that changes is how we respond to them. So this month is an opportunity for you to liberate yourself. It is an opportunity for you to lay your burdens down. Leave them behind. At least the burdens that are not yours to carry anymore. And I hear also there, with this opportunity comes a potential to equalize your relationship with this other force, with this external force, this person, this institution, this culture, whatever it is. There is an opportunity to level the playing fields, to connect as equals rather than you giving your power away constantly to that. Because when you give your power away and there's an unequal balance of power, that also limits how deep you can go in that relationship with that external source. that external force. And limiting depth means limiting growth. So all the more reason to challenge yourself, to persevere beyond this, Aries. I am rooting for you so hard this month. I would love to hear in the comments what specifically this looks like for you. What is going on in your life? What resonated? What in this reading resonated? It is truly an honor and a privilege to get to connect with you, to get to hear from you. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. If you want to share this channel with anyone who you think needs extra support right now, as I think we all do, please do that. It would mean so much to me, and I hope it would mean a lot to them too, and to the future members of this community, because this exists for our ongoing healing and alignment. That's my goal, and my goal for myself. That's my goal for you. And I'm so happy that you're here. I love you, Aries. Have a great February, and I'll see you next time.